Hey guys, Red Rookie here. We're going to be checking out Rock today, Rise of Civilizations. It's, in my opinion, the best war strategy game on mobile right now. So I'm just going to try to give you guys a quick review and teach you guys some of the basics of the game so you can understand what it's all about, so you can make a decision if you want to play it yourself or not. So let's just jump right into it. So go to your monument. You'll see all of these kingdom objectives in your kingdom history. You'll obviously start out with none of them completed, and every 1 through 5 days there will be a new objective that everybody in the kingdom works towards, or some of them are alliance specific. But anyways, some of them are less important than the other ones, but important structures and objectives get unlocked for some of them. First thing that gets unlocked is Barbarian forts, which is what your alliance rallies to get more experience and resources. And then Sanctums are unlocked after that, somewhere between 1 and 3 days after that. And they'll give you buffs if you control them. They're basically territory objectives that give buffs. And then some more Barbarian forts are unlocked, and then some other stuff, so you get some rewards if you complete the objectives. And then altars are unlocked, which are upgraded versions of Sanctums, which give really good buffs, like 3% troop attack for everybody in your alliance, and similar things to that. Oops. And then once the altars are unlocked, a few days after that, the level 1 passes are unlocked, and I'll explain more about that later. And then level 3 barb forts, and then level 2 passes are unlocked later. And then more barbarian forts, and then the most important territorial alliance buffs are unlocked, which are called shrines. They're the most potent version of Sanctums. And then you've got your level 3 passes, which are finally unlocked, which will grant you access to the middle area of the game, which is the most abundant in resources, which is basically the goal of every alliance, is to get to the middle of the map, of course, which is a common theme in these types of games, but it works a little bit differently in this game, and I'll show you that now. We'll zoom out and take a look at the map here. So, take a look at the mini-map at the top right, and also take a look at just the entire screen, of course, and then you'll start to get an idea of how the map kind of works. Once you first start the game, everybody starts in the outer regions of the map out here, along the edges, along the border of the entire map. And then eventually, the level 1 passes will open, which allows you access to adjacent regions to the region that you've started in. So like this pass right here, for example, it's level 1 pass. It doesn't grant you access into any new region in particular, but it grants you access to an adjacent region where other people are already living. So they're not the most important, but they can give you an advantage depending on your goals. Maybe you want to get a shrine that's in a different region from yours, you can go and get it. Or maybe somebody's been talking shit to you from a different region. Now once you get access to their region via a level 1 pass, you can go shut them up for good. And then the shrines will open, and eventually the level 2 passes will open, and those give a hefty amount of rewards. My alliance was able to lock down 4 of those, which ended up giving us, I think, 100 hours of speed ups total, and like 5,000 gems or 6,000 gems, and like 10 territory teleports each, or something like that. Excuse me. But anyway, the level 2 passes will open, and they'll have, I think it was 1 million tier 3 troops. Yeah, I think it was 1 million tier 3 barbs in each pass, so they're nothing to laugh at. It was pretty difficult for other alliances to beat down the level 2 passes, but we managed it quite easily. But a lot of people had to fail over and over until they finally got it, so it's definitely no easy task to take down a level 2 pass. Then the level 2 zone opens, and if I go to the resource, if I go to look at resources, you can see that the level 2 area is much more abundant in resources than the outer regions, of course. The closer you get to the middle, the more abundant the resources. And then the level 3 passes will open eventually, but we haven't gotten to that point yet. And then the middle will open up, and eventually we'll be able to fight for the Lost Temple, which is how the king is crowned of the kingdom, I assume. But that hasn't even been released in the game yet, so... Well, now that I've shown you the kingdom history and objectives, and I've kind of given you the basics of how the map works, now hopefully you have a better idea of how the game kind of is supposed to play out. Let's see. Okay, now that we have a basic understanding of how the game functions, let's take a look at the commanders. So you'll start out with one epic commander, depending on your depending on the civilization that you decide to start with. I'm France, so I started with Joan of Arc. Just a little tip here, I think the only real civilizations that are worth choosing to begin with are France, because you get Joan of Arc, who is a really good buffing commander, or Rome, which will give you Scipio, which is a really good attacking commander, which is this guy right here. All the other civilizations aren't really worthy of being picked, even at all, I think, but I could be wrong on that. So, when your commander is level 20, you can use 2 commanders in 1 arch. The secondary commander's talents will not apply, but their skills will. So commanders each have 2 to 3 categories, which include nuker, jungler, cavalry, any unit type like cavalry or infantry or archer. Commanders can be a leader or a gatherer, support, or a defender, disabler, or attacker. And there's plenty of different talent and skill builds to explore, but I'll save that for another video. Alright, something I really enjoy about this game, which makes it different from all the other war strategy games, is that you don't have to use farm accounts, really. You're only really allowed per account, only 2 characters per kingdom, which is kind of cool. You know, obviously if they would allow a lot more, then probably people would make a lot more farm accounts. But I mean, you can easily get around that, right, by just making multiple accounts and making farms that way. But I really think it's unnecessary. If you're one of the top alliances, or at least like a pretty strong alliance, and you can continue to progress through the zones as they open up. So once the level 2 passes open up, you break through there and get into the new zone. You know, you keep progressing, you keep running into better and more resources. And as long as you use your gathering commanders appropriately, you can get like 150% or more gathering speed increase, and you can really stack up a lot of resources. Like if we take a look at the rankings right now, if we take a look at the resource gathering rankings, I mean, I gather constantly, but I didn't really do it so much during the beginning. But I'm at 112 million resources gathered, but the top people are at like 300 million, 260 million. You know, you can really gather a lot. And if we take a look at how old the server is, if we zoom all the way out here, we can take a look at that. Just a little globe at the bottom right, and then click our kingdom. Our kingdom is 29 days old, so it seems like if you're really on top of your game and you know how to gather well, then it looks like once per month you can gather 300 million resources, or each month you can gather 300 million resources, and that's really plenty. Resources aren't the bottleneck in this game. The bottleneck in this game really is the speed ups. So you don't really need farm accounts. I don't even have a single farm account, and I haven't ran into too many problems with resources. The only time I run into problems is during the Mightiest Governor event, during the power-up portion of that event, I'll just be constantly spamming speed-ups, and if I haven't been gathering really for the past few days, then I'll run out of resources. But besides that, you really can't run out of resources if you stay on top of your gathering. So you don't even need farm accounts, which is a big deal for me, because that was one of the things that I really hated about the other war strategy games, was having to have like 10 plus different accounts just so you could hit them yourself and take the resources from them. It was so tedious and time consuming. It's great that you don't really have to do that in this game. Let's see. Yeah, so Rise of Civilizations is a great game, guys, and there's a lot more to it than just this, but this was basically the basic rundown of the functions in the game and how it kind of works. So if you guys have any more suggestions for future videos that I can make related to Rise of Civilizations, then let me know down in the comments, and I hope this was useful, and everybody have a good day.